Okay, guys, we're going to start. It is Tuesday, June 28th, and this call, the topic is basically the importance of being yourself. I know that sounds kind of strange, but in order to differentiate who you are as compared to the 500,000 other coaches that are out there in the network, it's really important that you hone in on your key attributes, what makes you you, and then being able to attract and reach out to people that are in similar shoes as you are. So for instance, say, this is on a really generic level, but I'm a mom, right? So being a part of mom groups, reaching out to other moms, being able to connect with them. Usually when I reach out to somebody, I find something that I have in common that we can talk about, rather than, coming at them and saying, hey, have you heard about this fitness program or Shakeology? You don't want to just come out of the bat and just say, just start talking about products, because that's kind of a turnoff. So this is going to be really important when you start building your brand. So one of the books that I really read that really resonated with me and helped me with this was, it's called Leave Your Mark, and it's by, the foreword's by Donna Karan, so she's the founder of DKNY. Sorry for the noise. And then Eliza Licht is her name. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, it looks like this. And hang on one second. Jay, can you grab him, please? I'm just recording right now.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that. So anyway, basically, she talks about being your own publicist. So really getting in touch with who you are as a person and being your own advocate. So once we kind of develop this persona of who we are, and it's the way that we want it, so it's the way that makes sense, it's the way that we live our lives, it's basically honing in on the key attributes of who we are, we then put that out into the world so that people understand who we are and how to best connect with us. So I think one great exercise we did at our leadership retreat was basically, Will's here with us, taking a piece of paper and writing down everything that makes you you. And the more specific you can get with that, and the more, I guess, creative and fun you can make it, the more interesting you then become, and you can kind of tweak your own persona. So, for instance, like, I love desserts, I love chocolate, I'm a mom of a 14-month-old, so getting really specific sometimes does help your audience, and also attracts people that may want to eventually be a mom, or someone that identifies with your personality type. So knowing whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. So that's why in personal development, it's really important to get in touch with yourself and who you are. And I feel like when I went on that retreat and some of these events, these Beachbody events, really kind of helped me to focus on myself and refocus as to like why I'm getting involved in health and fitness, and why I'm helping other people do that, why I want to run my own business, and what that's going to do for me in the future, as I continue to build my business and help others achieve their goals as well, whether that's in health and fitness, whether that's in business, whether that's getting their Shakeology paid for, whatever your goals are as a team, and whatever people's goals are as my customers and my clients, that is really why we do this. So she's talking about things to touch upon, like say in your bio, right? So your bio can be, say if you're on Instagram, you have like a one-line bio. You also have that on Facebook. There's little places that you can sprinkle tidbits of you and who you are So even in one sentence, can you describe who you are or what your mission is? So that's really important. That way, when people visit your page, they know exactly what you're about. They know exactly who you are, what you stand for. Think about colors. So for me, I personally use a lot of pink. I like pink. I think that represents me. It represents my personality. And there was a time in my life where I kind of fought with that. I kind of was like, oh, I want to be somebody else. I want to be something else. And then I kind of realized, like, as I was going through that growing process and learning process, I kind of realized, like, oh, wow, like these colors speak to me. So think about that for you. Get in touch with your inner, your creative side, what makes you tick, what makes you you. So start making a list of those things, write them down. Maybe start a journal, and that will really help you develop your brand. So especially as you're creating, once you kind of develop your brand and figure out what colors, what fonts, what personality traits, what things you like, where you want to go in your life, what your mission is. Once you kind of figure out all those things, then you can kind of go and start creating, you can create your content. So you can create your timeline photo, your profile photo, and I'm going to be working on updating these this summer. That's one of my goals this summer. And really honing in on those key things, and then developing your persona. And then also make sure that it's something that you want to be. So you may not be at X point right now, but where do you want to be? What do you want to stand for? So I think that's really important. So other things to touch upon when you're writing your list down. So personality, physical attributes, and this is a place, as we're sharing our stories in social media, we can get vulnerable. Are there places in our body, on our body, that we are self-conscious about? Chances are there are other women out there that are also self-conscious about their midsection, their core, whatever it is, right? Like, I'm a mom. That's pretty typical for other moms. So that's something you want to talk about, and that's something that, maybe I should be talking about in my next challenge group post is, hey, we're really going to be focusing on tightening our midsection. We're going to be focusing on strengthening our core. So those are really, really key things to start talking about as we're sharing our story in social media. So also, our education, that can span classes we take. It can be anything. Career path, important jobs, hobbies, passions. That's huge. Incorporating your passions into this makes it really fun. So if you like art, if you like dance, if you like music, any of those kinds of things, what kind of music do you like? Incorporate that into your story. As you start to share things about yourself, you're going to start to attract others that are interested in the same stuff. And that way you guys have something to talk about. So that's really important. Talents, awards, marital, family status. If you just got married, start talking about that. People connect to that stuff. Little things about, being a newlywed, exciting things, silly things, funny things. And then, of course, affiliations, church or charity or anything like that. So typically, like when I create my profile photo, I will create a piece of text that goes along with it. Like, hey, I'm Amanda. This is what I'm about. So you can kind of start with your most recent things. And I've started to kind of revamp mine because some recent things happened in my life, such as the brain tumor and the surgery. So I feel like that's really important. That's really helped shape who I am and where I'm going with this, and basically the energy that I'm putting forth in my workouts, in my business, all kind of stems from what happened to me recently. So that's really important. So anything that you've kind of gone through, been through recently, include that. You can make like a short kind of bio and a long bio. Those will both help you. So when you're you can either put those in the text where your profile photo is, or your timeline photo, or your cover photo, I mean. And then, a link, you want a call to action, right? So you can create forms in woofoo.com. It's WUFOO. And I just did a simple one. It's free. Sign up. Create a simple form. Like if they want to get involved in a fitness program, you can say, like, why do you want to get involved in the fitness program? And here, 5 things they need to answer, fill out, put their email address in, and they can just contact you that way. or, or say, hey, contact me, my email. Give them some way to contact you, so that if they want to make a change, they want to, make a positive change in their life, they know where to go. So make that really, really clear. And then another fun thing she talks about is making a word cloud. So there's something called like Wordle online. There's some different word cloud things you can do. You can even create your own. There's a lot of different apps and things. I use a lot of photo apps for my photos to put text on photos and stuff, so I can give you guys some ideas. But making your word cloud. So that's just kind of a fun thing to kind of help you figure out who you are, what you're about, in kind of this fun looking word cloud. And you can, post it up on your wall as you're working on your posts, your Facebook posts. Like I do generally three Facebook posts a day. So I want to make sure that I'm including, pieces and parts of me and my brand and my colors, my fonts, my words, things that I post are all connected to my brand. So when people visit your page, they know exactly what you're about. So images, finding images to represent what you're about, scenery that speaks to you, anything and everything. And think about that. So then think about this team, right? And how we have a lot of similarities. Like we're all women, we're all, this, we're that, we're around the same age. But think about how different we are too. So really hone in on those key differences that make you you, that make you special. Even if it doesn't have to be something outrageous, like, oh, wow, that's so different, no one else has that. But the combination of uniqueness, that's what makes us special. That's what we need to hone in on and share with others. So let's see, what else does she talk about? Personal branding, so self-reflection, she talks about that. That's really important. So taking that time to get to know yourself. And, personal branding isn't necessarily about becoming famous. It can be, but it's more becoming in touch with who you are and then being able to then connect with others. Kind of, we already talked about that, but working towards achieving that and communicating that every single day. Driving that point home, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. That over time, so if you read the book, The Compound Effect, which I highly recommend as a new coach, the compound effect basically is like little things you do each day that add up over time. So you do, if you did fitness one day a week for 8 hours, you're not going to see as great results as you would if you did it a little bit each day. So same with your business. You do a little bit each day, that compounds over time. It changes your life over time. So when we talk about this business being life-changing, it's not because you jumped in and jumped out and did a fitness program one day and not another day. This is about consistency. This is about your efforts compounding over time. So daily efforts. So for instance, you don't feel like doing your workout this day, that day, you skip a day. That all kind of compounds, and that's why we want to be consistent, with our business. That way people will trust us. They'll say, this girl isn't fizzling out. This girl is a good leader because she's leading by example. She is constantly doing her workouts. She's constantly working on herself. She's constantly helping other people. You consistently talk about that, they're going to want to join you. They're not going to want to join the coach that hops in and out and fizzles out. And that's the honest truth right there. So basically, this is really about us figuring out who we are as people, communicating that, developing this really strong personal brand. And the next chapter talks about casting yourself in a new leading role. So she talks about repetition, right? So again, the compound effects. And then, also she talks about image, right? So what you wear, like, I don't have to wear designer clothes. I'm wearing a Red Sox t-shirt, whatever, but that's me, right? So you know, if you're really into fashion and design, like that's wonderful. Take more pictures of your clothes and share those because those are your personality. And we want to be genuine because, like, for instance, for me, like if I just started, like, I don't know, wearing these fancy clothes and taking pictures of myself in really fancy clothes all the time, like I just think it wouldn't come off as genuine because that's just not who I am on a day-to-day basis. Like that'd be one thing if I was working in the city, which I was a couple years ago, and I was, you know, dressing up for work and things like that. But right now, that's not my brand. And so really thinking about, like, what is it that I want to represent, and then go being that person, developing into that person. So it's not just about like who you are right now. It's, I kind of touched on this in the beginning, but as we work on ourselves every single day, we develop into like this leader, right? This new kind of enhanced version of us, that's a better version of us, that's one that's constantly growing and changing and pushing ourselves. So being able to show that in social media is really, really important. So whether you use Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, if you do videos, like any live videos, anything like that. And, you know, this book is really great just because it talks about important things for, like, you know, killing your job, you know, doing a really great job in what you do. And she talks about public speaking as being one of them, and that used to scare the living daylights out of me, and it still does. But the more I do these calls, the more I do the live videos, the more I practice talking and staying focused, because I feel like I go off in 100 different directions. The more I practice, the better I'm going to get. And that's the same with anybody. Some people are naturally gifted, right? And I used to always say, oh, that person's just always going to be good at that, and whatever, I'm just always going to suck at it. That's not true. Same with fitness, right? You can say, oh, that person, you know, they're always doing this and they're just good at it and I'm not. Like, that doesn't mean that we give up. That doesn't mean we don't work on it, because it does get better. And you will see changes over time if you stick with it. So it's the same with your nutrition, the same with your fitness. And I just want to kind of leave you guys with that note of how do you want to leave your mark? How do you want to leave your legacy? What do you want people to think about you? And what are you doing daily to reinforce that image, your personal brand, what you stand for, who you are, what really lights your fire, makes you tick? All those things are super important, and I think they're going to change your business in a huge way. I think other coaches that have really honed in on who they are, or really gotten in touch with themselves on a deeper level through, you know, different events, you know, maybe it's some sort of meditation or some sort of retreat or prayer or whatever it is that you do to get in touch with your inner self. Maybe it's through dancing. You know, for me, that's a spiritual thing for me, but whatever that is, go do it. Go do more of it. And anyway, I'll end on that note, but thank you guys for listening. Thanks for joining. And if you have any questions about this, I know some of you guys are on vacation, things like that, we can bring it up on next week's call. Remember, they're Tuesdays at 8:30. And then we have our national wake-up call for more business-type tips from top coaches. Those are every Monday at 11 a.m. The call replays are always available in the Coach Online office. To your right, there's, when you log in and under Coach Online office, there's Coach Breaking News. You're going to find all the new announcements in there, you know, new fitness programs coming out, new events coming up, Super Saturday events, all those types of things. And I'll try to keep you guys informed as well. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon, guys. I'll just stop recording here. Hang on.